Welcome to Spring Boot tutorial series. So in this video, we'll see Spring Boot Data JPA. That one, first we need to install MySQL database in our system. So already I installed my system and I'll give the installation link in the description. You can go through those video once. Okay. And after that, we need to add these three plugins. One is for Spring Web and Data JPA and MySQL connector into pom.xml file. We'll see how to add these three things first. Okay. So first we need to go to start.spring.io and we need to give this information. So I'm creating like a customer service now. So I'm giving artifact as a first and package com.customer, and here I'm selecting Java 17, and we need to add the dependencies like one is web, another one is data JPA, Spring Data JPA, and another one is MySQL driver, means it is a MySQL connectors. Okay, so these are the three dependencies required, and you can click on the generator, project will generate. So this one already I completed. I will show the plugins into the in my ID. Okay, so coming to the use case, we are creating one customer service. With the customer service, we are going to creating new customer and reading the customer and updating this customer and deleting the customer. So these are the four current operations we are doing as per this video. Okay, so we'll start this one. So already I have created this one. So just now we seen, right, dependencies what we are adding in the Spring starter Spring initializer. So in the Spring initializer, we are adding these three dependencies. If you see, one is for Spring Data JPA, another one is MySQL connector, and Spring Starter web. So this is by default, it will come when you are adding the web. Okay, these are the three dependencies we are working with. Okay, so already I installed MySQL also. If you don't know how to install, I will give the link into the description. You can go through those videos and install this MySQL in your system first. Okay, and when I come to the code, so once you are done with the dependencies, and we can import this project into the IntelliJ IDE. And first we need to create the repository and service. So if you come to the repository, I am using JPA repository. Okay, so I'm using this JPA repository, and the customer is the entity class. If you come to the customer, this is the entity, and so whenever make this annotation entity, so it will convert this one as a entity class. Then this is the table name we are providing. So it will create the table with this name, and it will insert data. So here we are using customer ID, customer name, mobile number, and address. These are the four fields we are giving, and this customer ID it will consider as a primary key. Okay, to define the primary key, we need to use this generated value as annotations. Okay, so this is our entity class, and this is our repository class. Now we'll go to the service. So what we are doing in the service, just you can see once. So first one is nothing but save customer. Using this one, we'll save this customer. Okay, after that, get customer by ID, this is for updating. After that, get all customer. With this you can able to get all the customer information, then deleting the customers. Okay, and next come to the controller. So initial execution will start from the controller only. So whenever you are hit this API from the client, like Postman is our client in this case, so first it will execute this one. After that, it will navigate to this customer. So we are using the request mapping. This is the customers, this is the endpoint it will start. So our first API will call like create customer. So if you see, I'm using this one annotation post mapping, so it will so whenever hitting this API using HTTP post, then it will come to here, and it will expecting one input argument like customer. So you need to pass this information as a JSON from the postman. Then after that, what it will do, so when you're creating customer, then it will go to the service class. If you see customer service, I'm creating object by using annotation auto wire. Okay, so Spring controller, it will automatically create those objects and will use us. So here we are using annotation request body, because this is the object we are using annotation request body. Okay, and you can go to the save customer. So if you see everywhere I'm writing some logs to track this process. If something is went wrong in between, then we need to identify where is the issue using this logs. So how to do these logs? We need to add the annotation on the class level, annotation slf4j. This will come from lombok. We need to add lombok dependency into your pom.xml file, and when you are coming to the customer repository and click on save, it will save the customer. Okay, this is all about saving the customer. So okay, we'll quickly check this API how it will work. So I'm starting the server, and once your database installation is done, we need to pass the database properties into the application dot properties. If you see, this is my database URL, and this is username, password, and this is the JPA related properties. I'll share you all this code in the GitHub link. Okay, and we'll start this service. So I'm starting this service now. So, so first we are checking post API to. So as of now, table also not created. Once that query is executed, if you see, this is the schema here. There is no customer table. So initially, once you start this application, now application is started successfully. If you observe these logs, these are all related to JPA related logs. So if you see here, there is a query. So there is a query also executed whenever you start. So it is executed create table customer. So based on this, it will create the customer table. Just you can refresh. See, now table is there. This table is customer ID, address, customer name, mobile name. These are the fields. If you see this table data, there is no data in the table. Okay, now we'll test that API. If you see, this is the customer. I'm passing customer ID, mobile number, address. But when you see this entity class, it is having 4 argument. So we are not passing customer id, because customer id is a primary key. It will auto generated. Okay, so when you hit this post API, if you see, this is the customer, and if you come to the controller also, so this is the customer. See, so I am not defined any endpoint in on this post mapping. So why? Because directly customers, it will automatically come to call this post mapping API, because there is no post mapping, only one post mapping it is having under this customers path, right? So I'm directly calling that one. Here I am not defining. Okay, so we can try this one. See, so it is generated, customer ID is one, and the information also generated. So this is the data, it is inserting into the database. We'll quickly check this data also. Can refresh, see if data is available. Okay, so like this we need to call the post API. Okay, so once this post API is completed, we'll try to update this existing data. So for that one, I have created another API. If you see here, so this is for create customer, and another one is for update customer. So if you see update customer, I am using annotation path variable and request body. So I will pass customer as customer ID as well as the that customer object. Okay, to update data to that particular ID. So how it will work, we'll see. So for that one, I am using annotation put mapping to update entire object, customer object, right? So come to that customer, and here you can see the put mapping. So this is my put API. So I'm passing customer ID is a one, along with I'm passing the customer object. See, now customer name is there Wilson, in the existing customer name is there John. Okay, if you test this one, you can hit this API. See this, we got the updated response. Now customer name is changed to Wilson. If you come to the database and refresh this, now we can see it here also, it is updated. Okay, so like this we need to call the update API. Now we are done with create and update. So both APIs successfully executed. So next we need to go with get API. So there is two get APIs are there. One is based on the ID, you can get the information. Another one is without passing any input, it will give all the list of customers from this table. Okay, so right now we have only one customer. So in this case, we need to call the based on the id, because we need to specify customer id. So here customer id is a 1. So if you call this APA, it will give the response. Okay, so if you are not passing this one also, so for that one, there is another API I have created. This is the customers having the get. So here I am not passing any input. Okay, if you call this one, it will give the list of customers available inside the table. If you see, this is the list. If you see more, this is one entry inside the array. Okay, so these are the two get APIs I have created here. And another one is for delete. If you want to delete, you can delete this API. So we need to delete customer from table, right? So for that one, we have created this delete customer. So here we need to pass customer id as a argument. So for that one, you can go to the delete and you can enter customer id one I mentioned, and hit. See, it didn't get any response because I'm not returning anything, it is void, right? So if you go to the database and refresh this table, see, there is no data. Okay, so like this we need to perform CRUD operations on this. Okay, thanks for watching. If you feel this video is helpful for you, please thumbs up and subscribe my channel.